guys? Welcome back to Undefeated at Locals. Once again, Marvin and Edgar, your boys here. This week, last week we showed you guys how to build Ryukyu, how to dominate with the deck that I'll be taking to these webcam events. This week we're going to show you the 20 best cards to take out the deck. She doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, right. We're just going to slay the dragon, essentially.
Absolutely.
As you'll see here, we have the list of our top 20 cards.
Yeah, 20 cards. These cards me and Edgar have gone through the entirety of UVS Ultra. This list was like 97 cards. We decided to cut it down to the 20 actually playable ones in the format. So yeah, these are 20 very playable cards, both new and old, and let's just rock right into them with the foundations. This is in no particular order. This is just kind of the order that I went down, minus learning the standards down there. Starting us off, League Handler. What does this card do to Ryukyu?
So the response remove after your rival makes a check, that check gets -X, can be huge against her because Ryukyu ends up making a lot of checks.
She sure does. She's trying to play a million attacks.
Yeah. So, you know, on her fourth card, if she gets -4 to that check,
it's probably just going to fail, right?
Yeah. Especially if you wait for the 2-drop, right? Or the 2-check.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I remember when we reviewed this card.
Let's not talk shit. Okay, I still think this card is pretty bad. But into Ryukyu, yeah, it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Into these characters that are trying to make 9 attack turns on turn 2, building this seems pretty solid. You'll notice a theme, guys. All of these are very turn 2 relevant cards. None of them cost the momentum. They're still going to cost you your entire board state. They're all removal, destruction, like very few of them are like flip costs. But yeah, that's like kind of the idea. It's all going to be turn 2, and League Handler on turn 2 into these aggro decks, very good card. Next up, we get to fight Dragon with the Dragon. Let's go. Vast Strength. This, everybody knows what this card is. It's her Tunif. It's the Yu-Gi-Oh! Combo piece. But we will actually be using the other text on the card that says response remove after an attack is played. It loses all non-keyword abilities. So this card is just really great into the Ultra Rare, right?
Yeah. It cancels the Ultra Rare's abilities. You end up with your blank card stuck in your card pool.
Absolutely.
And you have to deal with that a different way.
Yeah, we have to play another blank card, like tons of different lines. Of course, there's lines that she can go down. We can't really worry about that, though. This is all about interruption, right?
Yeah.
This card very much interrupts her. It answers itself. Next up, number 5, Pro Hero. What do we got here?
This, again, we are just disrupting her play. We're forcing her to play differently by flipping the first attack she plays is no longer a blank attack. Now it's just a blank card.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can flip the first one. We can even, like, flip the Ultra Rare after it resolves, right? Don't allow her to form with it.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's got potential. It's only a 2-diff, and this one's only a flip cost. So
yes, it doesn't have to destroy your board state, and has like a very relevant deadlock form on it as well. That's not character specific. It's on really good symbols. Again, another thing that you guys will see. These are all on going to be on pretty played symbols in the format: life and earth, chaos, fire, death. All very good symbols. Next up, another new one: strength and beauty. Once again, just kind of doing a very similar thing. We're just going to interrupt her combo, right? We get to enhance tenacious remove. Choose an attack in your rival's card pool. That attack cannot leave the card pool during the combat phase. So once again, we get to target something like the first blank attack, like the Ultra Rare, and just make sure that she can't just pick it up. She can't add it back to her hand. Just another super solid piece. Once again, on very, very relevant symbols. This has the good symbol.
Next up, we've got Stopping for Breakfast. This card it's good into a lot of decks, but into Capture Evildoers decks specifically, I've been running this card because of Myhero, because of All Might. And into Ryukyu, it does the same thing. It keeps you from being able to clear your card pool. It tells you have to find a different answer. You have to flip this with your Dragon Strike.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah, like it forces her to use this, right? Anything that just stops Capture Evildoers is going to be pretty solid. I remember when everybody complained about pulling this Ultra Rare. Now it's going to let you live on turn 2. Next up, one of the older cards in the set, something that's seen a lot of meta relevance, right? Awesome. Easiest card in the world. This card is Enhanced Remove. Add 1 foundation from each player's stage to their hand. Both players build from their hand face down. So this just picks up Vast Strength all day, every day, right?
This picks up Vast Strength and maybe gives you a relevant block zone.
Yeah, 100% picks up like a good block mod for you. And yeah, just adds Vast Strength back to their hand. We don't have to worry about it anymore. And again, this was kind of like a little bit less of a cost because like it's kind of a 1-for-1 trade if we trade a committed foundation.
Yeah.
So not too bad there. Next up, Cant Escape Me. What's this guy doing?
We've seen this card played in a lot of meta relevant decks because it kills draw effects. Things like Back Alley, things like Valiant, things like your Dragon Ultimate Ultra Rare.
Yeah, absolutely. Even Vast Strength kills,
even Vast
kills
Strength,
the form, which is kind of crazy.
So this is seen play in a lot of sideboards. I think it'll see a lot more play now with Ryukyu just stacking onto the play the same cardboard, draw more cards mechanic.
Yep, absolutely. We don't want to get hit with the same piece of cardboard twice.
Yeah.
Next up, another oldie but goodie, Struggling with Studies. This one's really just in here. It's a great defensive piece, as everybody already knows. Once she plays our third move, we can pick up a block zone. That's not nothing. But it also saves us from her point-and-click minigame with Dragon Strike. There's a lot of like cancel flip effects in the game that's not just Struggling with Studies. You have Saving Bakugo, stuff like that. I would highly recommend some of you older folks out there will remember the Seizing the Advantage meta. Those cards were very prominent during that. I think they should be just as prominent now. That is probably one of the most egregious things that this character can do is flip these defensive pieces on your board.
Yeah.
When you pair that with something like Saving Bakugo, something like Struggling with Studies, it's no longer as egregious. She has to play that one twice now, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's not nothing.
Next up, we've got Faith Shield. This one was an answer back when it first released, and it's an answer again today.
Absolutely.
Just again, we are more disruption. We're just flipping that first attack and telling you to play another one.
Yep.
It's not even going to deal damage, which is great.
Yeah, 100%. We can block the high or the low with it and not take 10.
Exactly. So again, like the only downside to this card is the +3, and Ryukyu gets speed.
Oh my god, she gets so much speed. So yeah, this may very well be your only block for the turn, so you have to keep that in mind and make it a really relevant one. Next up, once again, an oldie but goodie, Sticky Balls, the 3-diff. Once again, this foundation can be replaced with like a bunch of different things, right? You've got Sticky Balls, you've got Runaway that's doing a similar thing. Pretty much any non-attack card with Monetta's face on it can probably replace Sticky Balls for its effect. All we're trying to do is shove a card into their card pool, right?
Exactly.
Something unexpected, something that she wasn't she didn't want there. Make her form with evildoers one step earlier.
Yeah.
Any amount of disruption can make one more bad check can just stop this character from turn 2ing you, right?
Exactly.
One more check of 3. That's what this card is doing. Next up, what is Apathetic doing here?
Apathetic is Vast Strength Killer. This has been one of the most well-statted cards in the game for a long time. Just flip this to flip one of your opponent's cards. Very easy to play, and it's really the only flip target for another death card, especially on Dragon Strike. Yeah.
Like now when they play their point and click game, they just have to target Apathetic, right? Yep. So again, like it protects your pieces. Yeah, and like I just said, one of the only things that really just flips 1-for-1. You have the overhaul 1-diff that flips a committed one, but like she's not going to be committed Vast Strength against that. So next up, Irrefutable Force of Nature. This one saw like a large amount of play in the beginning of MHA. It's seen less and less. I still feel that this is like one of the best cards in the game and is extremely relevant today. Not sure if you guys know this, but all of her cards have the Earth symbol on it.
Sure do.
So this is a 1-for-1. I commit this. Your Vast Strength is dead now. You do not get to use it. And that is fantastic.
Yeah.
If they don't have vast strength, maybe we can either A, save this and just like commit it as a block, or even like target one of her speed foundations, right?
Yeah,
Like,
this definitely targets her speed foundations. This targets Baker.
yep, yes, exactly. Like all of these things that she's playing have all of these relevant symbols. If we can seal vast strength every turn, that's insane. So this
Yeah.
card will see uh through the through a turn cycle, this card is going to have the most value because it's not a remove cost, right? It's not
Exactly.
a flip cost.
Exactly.
You just commit this, it's always on your board.
And it's not unique.
It is not unique. Last but not least, let's hear it, Edgar.
Got Learning the Standards. Another classic card for us. It's you're gonna eat the first attack,
Yeah.
and you're going to force them to play their Capture Evildoers. If they don't have Capture Evildoers, maybe they play their Zero Dip. If they don't have that, then they're in a bind.
Yep. Yeah. We're just asking our rival not please stop attacking us,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So always like been a good card. The first effect will be next to zero relevance in the Dragon Lady, but it has a lot of relevance in the other characters in the format, right? So.
Oh yeah. That wraps it up for the foundations. You'll see that it's mostly disruption here. We just want to stop her attack turn here.
Yeah, we want to mitigate her checks. Again, there's other things that can do this. The Fiery Vengeance card or whatever, Dobby's one diff, can also limit the checks. There's a ton of cards that can be replaced or even added in addition that are doing similar effects. And I highly recommend mainboarding and sideboarding some of those options.
Yep.
Next up, let's just swing right into assets with like one of the most devastating ones from this last set, Airy. Airy is just an emergency button, right? This is the only momentum cost that I included in the list because it is an extremely relevant one, right?
Yep.
If we win the die roll and get to poke her, this is a last-ditch effort of please let me survive this turn and find the backswing.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very relevant piece. She has ways to target this as well on all and one of her other symbols, but again, she has to have that. Having Airy on the board makes you feel just a lot safer for a turn, right?
Yep. Yeah. Again, it's a momentum cost, so you have to find that, but still, it asks her for one more attack.
Which is very relevant. What do we have next?
Next up, we have Twisty Surroundings. If you want to stop her, sometimes Breaker 4 is the answer. And even this on its own is still a Breaker 2 that she has to get through.
Yep.
Like either as a block or if it's on your field. Either way, she has to answer it.
Breaker 2, yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, in your hand or not in your hand, this card is extremely relevant. Saying -2 to your check when you checked the 2 is insane. Like you checked a 0, how do you come back
Commit
from
5?
That? Yep, yeah, exactly. Next up, we have League of Villains. This guy, again, is just disruption, right? Again, it's going to cost you your entire stage, but we're just simply asking the dragon to please stop attacking us. It has response commit, commit one foundation. After your rival plays an enhanced ability on an attack or foundation, cancel it. That is insane.
Yeah.
You get to cancel the ultra rare. That is super crazy.
Yeah. The ultra rare vast strength, just depending on how the attack turn goes.
Yep.
Maybe you had an answer for one.
Yep.
Yeah.
So many different options here. It's a little bit harder to build on turn 2, but these are just kind of some of the plays that we might have to make into this to be able to survive this type of aggression on turn 2, turn 3. And yeah, this is one hell of a way to do it. Canceling the ultra rare alone will put a stick in her plans, right?
Exactly. Next up, we go into the actions. Here we have Aries Smiles. This is a great block, unless they play the low as their first attack. But it's got response, flip one foundation. After you block this card, your rival must play a non-attack card as their next form or pass. This, again, you're asking the same question that all of these other cards are asking. You're just saying, do you have a way around this? Sometimes she does, and that's okay. That's why we stack multiple answers.
Yeah, 100%. This is learning the standards that she can't target flip, right? Exactly. This is a hand trap. A hand trap's going to be very, very good into this type of character. Speaking of hand traps, next up we have another one. Thank God UVS Games gave us Heroes Upbringing for all of you fire, water, and death players out there. This guy is very, very clean and simple. Response, destroy one foundation. After your rival plays the same ability on the same card for the second or greater time this turn, seal their character. So that counts their character, right? It's a card in their stage. So as soon as they play their second attack and respond with Ryukyu, Ryukyu's done. She does not get to draw a card. She does not get to snap momentum. That is huge into this matchup.
Yeah, that is the momentum draw is a requirement for her to keep going. So at this point, she just does have to pass.
Yep, yeah, she just builds and passes now. She ends her turn. Again, you have to now survive the next one, but that is all this is doing, is trying to survive the turn 2, turn 3, and go into a backswing. What do we have next?
Next up, again, like we said, sometimes Breaker 4 does the trick, Barrier Shield. This is Enhanced Remove, reduces attack speed to 0. The next card you play as a block gets Breaker 2. That is insane, especially on the symbols it's on.
Yeah,
you can,
Evil picking up Breaker 1, Breaker 2 blocks, and then Breaker 4-ing people.
Yeah, Breaker 4, then you Twisty Surroundings maybe for a Breaker 6.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's just a turn ender sometimes. Again, if you're lucky enough to have all these cards in your hand and stage, great. You turn her off immediately.
Yeah, 100%. This not only like breakers her, but it also like lets you block, right?
Yeah.
She's sending these 9 mid for 9 moves, and you say no, this is a 0 mid for 9. Then I'm going to break her 3 block.
Exactly.
Super solid. Last but not least, we have Showdown. This is probably my least favorite tech into this character whatsoever. I don't have a lot of hope in this card doing well. But let's get into it. It's a +3 high block. It has response after you block with this card. Commit to rival foundations. I think that's going to be the best text on this card because it is target commit, right? Once again, it's going to cost us everything. We're going to have to commit an amount to even pass the check, and then we're going to have to commit to it's just going to cost a lot. She's sending 9 mids for 9, 9 highs for 8. It's going to cost you your whole board, but we get to target commit her vast strength and one other piece that we want to hit, making her check perfectly, right? You have to check rolling 5s now.
Yeah. And then again, this can be comboed with Barrier Shield, with Twisty.
Absolutely, to really devastate their board.
Yeah, so
if you somehow find a character that can survive till turn 4 or 5, I think is when the other ability actually reliably comes online, which is response commit to foundations. After your rival plays an ability on an action card, cancel it. I do not think that you get to do that early in the game.
No.
I really don't. I think she's just going to play a second capture evildoers and kill you honestly. There's no world where you stun to yourself on turn 2 or turn 3. If you figured out how to stabilize your deck into turn 4, turn 5 with her, I think that ability is very strong once you are at 10, 11 foundations.
Exactly.
That is the only time that ability will be played, though. But yeah, guys, that's it. The 20 best cards from what we believe will really interrupt this deck. Of course, these answers have answers, which is why we want to bring up one last scenario. Really, the best thing that you guys can be doing is playing just another aggro deck, right?
Yeah.
The best thing we can be doing is jamming games with Jiro, jamming games with Mirio, Overhaul. All of these characters have disruption on their printed on their face on their character cards. Jiro gets to tell her, check the 2. I want you to check your ultra rare the next card you play.
Check the 2, draw foundation.
Yep, build and pass, and then I can actually devise a real swing. There's so many characters that are extremely defensive, but her ultra rare just kills, right? Racerhead's no longer a good meta call into this format. Recovery Girl's no longer a good meta call into this format. It's really just all about absolute aggression. So just actually play somebody that can count to 28, and I think you'll be doing pretty okay.
Speaking of, come back for our next video. We'll be showing you just that.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know how you're fighting Ryukyu, or what other character you're going to play against her. Would love to hear it.
Peace.